dribbled in. Oh, my goodness! Hooker! Wiggins!
All right, those are just some of the possible players the Jazz will take in the 5th pick in Thursday's NBA draft. Hi there and welcome everybody. Special NBA Jazz draft preview this next half hour. Rod here, Jeremiah here. We're joined by Jazz VP player personnel Walt Perrin. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Walt will be here for the next half hour to break down the players in this draft. We'll also take a look back at the best and worst moments in Jazz draft history. And I'm also hearing a rumor, Walt, that you may unveil the Jazz draft board?
Yes.
Okay. Or maybe that was a rumor planted
about a
by...
week.
In a week. Okay. Maybe it was a rumor planted by the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Ooh. We'll talk about that, but first of all, the big news this week, Joel Embiid, the 7-footer out of Kansas, projected #1 overall to the Cleveland Cavaliers, out 4 to 6 months after having surgery on his foot to replace 2 screws yesterday. What do you know about that, and does that just put the whole kibosh on, uh-oh, we got to stay away from him?
Well, what I know about is just basically what we've heard. He had 2 screws put in. His agent has come out and said the surgery was successful. What it entails in terms of what happens with Joel, we don't know right now. We still haven't been able to see a doctor's report, and we'll kind of have to wait and see what happens.
So if he drops from 1 down to 5, and if you guys still have the 5th pick, are you guys going to be on with their doctor like every day, every hour this next week?
Well, we're going to try again, try to get the doctor's report if we can, get it from the agent. If we get it and the reports are good, he probably still won't be there at 5. If the reports are bad, then if we think he's still the best player and we want to take a chance, we'll have to talk about it with management, with ownership, and then decide what we want to do.
Yao Ming had this exact same surgery, 2 screws in the bone in the top of the foot there. He played in the Olympics 5 months later.
Yeah, but it curtailed his career over the course of time. So that's something we have to look at also.
Of course, now you heard the rumors. Cleveland wants to shop the pick. They don't want, you know, they wanted him, and now they don't have him, so they're going to shop it. You got any calls from Cleveland?
I haven't heard that rumor yet.
yeah, okay, all right.
Well
so you got Cleveland on speed dial, don't you?
I would think Dennis has talked with Cleveland. I don't know for sure, but I would think that he has talked with Cleveland, and he has talked with just about every other team in the draft.
Embiid did not come in for a workout. Julius Randle, one of the fab freshmen out of Kentucky, he was in for a workout on Wednesday. Now, Walt, this guy is a man already, 6'9", 250. I didn't realize how big and strong he was.
Oh, he's a beast inside. He's really physical, strong, as we've talked about. He's pretty athletic, and he's in attack mode all the time once he gets the ball.
Now, I don't know if you want to compare people, but does he have the same kind of body as maybe a Zach Randolph or something like that?
Well, I think everybody's comparing him to Zach because he's left-handed and he does have the build that he has. Yeah. He's a little bit different than Zach. He's probably a little bit more athletic than Zach. Zach's probably got a little bit better shooting touch, and Zach's got really long arms on his frame.
Okay, now after his workout on Wednesday, Julius Randle explains why he thinks he'd be a good fit in a Jazz uniform.
Well, I think it fits in well. You know, I'm a very versatile player, so I can play many different ways and adjust to many different situations. So I think my skill set being versatile, being able to affect the game in many different ways and help a team win in many different ways would be a good fit here. Anywhere I go, I'm going to try to make something happen. You know, my expectations are a championship, and here would be a great spot for it. I think the biggest thing is when you're a young team like that, you know, coming from Kentucky, you got to stick together. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of adversity and a lot of things that come your way that can break you apart. But a team that sticks together, you know, makes it in the end.
Wally, seems like his body is ready for the NBA right now.
He's got an NBA-ready body. I mean, we can make it a little bit better once he comes into the league. I think he can get a little toner, leaner, and probably, you know, even though he is strong, he can get a lot stronger.
Questions about his foot, possible surgery. He said no, his foot's fine, not going to have surgery. I guess you're keeping a close eye on that, too.
Well, we can't talk really about it, but I don't think we're overly concerned about his foot.
Okay.
Okay, we've heard the rumors. We mentioned them earlier about the possibility of the Jazz moving up. I'm sure you mentioned Dennis is probably working the phones as hard as he can. So let's look at some of those guys at the top you didn't have in for workouts, but could be there if you were able to move up. Jabari Parker. I mean, everyone here knows about Jabari. There's a lot of excitement about him. Can you tell us more about Jabari and what makes him possibly a first or second pick in this draft?
Well, out of the players in this year's draft, especially those in the lottery, he's probably the most ready to step in and play major minutes in the NBA next year. He's very aggressive. He's an attack-type player at his position. He's an inside-outside player. He can post up. He can step out and shoot the college three, and I think in time he'll be able to shoot the NBA three quite regularly. He's a very smart player. He's been a winner wherever he's been. He won 4 straight state championships, high school state championships in Illinois, which is a major feat. It's never been done before. So and again, going to Duke, which is an outstanding program. He's always been a winner.
Let's move on to Ando.
Sounds like he's making a case to trade for number 1.
I'm impressed. I didn't even have a follow-up question. He told me everything I wanted to know about Jabari. Let's talk about Andrew Wiggins, another player that for a lot of the season was the #1 guy. What can you tell us about Andrew, and what do you like about him?
I've probably seen Andrew more than anybody else in this draft. Oh, excuse me. Let me change that. Not more, but sooner.
Okay.
We're able to go to the Global Challenge in the summer, which is a event run by Nike that has 5 U.S. teams and then, has 3 U.S. teams and then brings 5 foreign teams over, and it's under 18 years old. Andrew was playing when he was a freshman in high school.
Wow.
So I was able to see him then, and the first time I saw him, I saw the athleticism. He didn't play a lot, again, because he was a young kid coming from Canada, and they had a pretty good team. But you see the athleticism, and at that time you say, whoa, we've got to keep an eye on this kid for the next 3-4 years, because he could be something special.
Underwhelming at Kansas for a lot of people because the expectations were so high. Could he be a better pro than a college player?
I think in time, yes. Again, at his age level, he's been either the first or second best player at his age level whenever he's played. Wow. So going to Kansas, I think the expectations were extremely high. He had another player on their team in Joel Embiid, who was pretty good. So I think he wanted to fit in more as a teammate and didn't show the aggressiveness at times. He didn't show the focus at times, but I think he can become a better NBA player.
Excellent. Well, we're going to talk more about the #5 pick in a second. We're going to have to take a break first.
Yeah, we're going to take a break, and we're still going to pick your brain on first-round picks and second-round picks. More with Walt Perrin when we come back.
All right, welcome back. We continue our preview of the 2014 NBA Draft with Walt Perrin. Noah Vonleh is a name that not a lot of people knew about coming into this draft, but his stock is rising. Why?
Well, because he's 6'10". He's got extremely long arms. He can handle the ball for a guy his size, and he has the ability to step out and shoot a jump shot. Most people, or most teams in the league, are looking for bigs that can shoot outside, stretch the floor a little bit, and he's got that ability. In high school, he played mainly facing the basket. At Indiana, they moved him to with the back to the basket along the box, and he was able to improve his post-up game. So now he's got the inside-outside game. So that's why his stock is kind of rising.
Interesting.
And he came in for a workout.
Yes.
And were you impressed by what you saw up close and personal? You've seen him a lot.
He was one of the few guys we brought in at the 5th pick that was able to go. His agent allowed him to go with a 3-on-3 workout. So we were impressed with a lot of things he was able to do. He was able to show us some things that you can't show in a 1-on-0 workout.
And he's got the biggest hands in the draft, too.
He's got the second biggest hands in the history of the NBA Combine.
That's amazing. All right, Marcus Smart, the guard out of Oklahoma State, big combo guard. He can shoot, he can drive. He decided not to enter last year's draft as freshman, stay another year. Do you think his stock improved?
I think he helped his game. He was not, well, he played a little bit of point guard, and he wanted to go back to improve his point guard skills. He also wanted to go back to help this team hopefully win a national title. They had a pretty good team until Their center got hurt and got lost for the year. So I think he improved his stock a little bit. I think he's still probably going to be drafted about in the same range he was last year, but the extra year is going to help him.
Marcus Smart responding to a tweet from a Jazz fan. He asked why isn't he coming to Utah to work out, and he said, you guys weren't interested. Response, please.
Well, previous to that tweet, I had probably talked with his agent maybe 3 times about trying to get him in for a workout, and they kept holding me off. So I talked to his agent the night of the tweet, and he said, listen, Marcus, that's not how Marcus thinks. Marcus knows that we have an interest in him. We have tried to get him in. It's just misfortunate that the tweet went out. It was quickly deleted. Yeah. But he said if you guys draft Marcus, he would have no problems coming to Utah.
Now, one guy you did work out was Aaron Gordon, and he was really impressive when we interviewed him. Just 18 years old, one of the youngest players in the draft. What do you like about his game, other than the shooting, obviously?
He may be the youngest in the draft.
Yeah.
We love his athleticism. We love his he loves to be a team guy. We like that he hates to lose. He's a very competitive player. He's got probably a quicker second jump than most people have in terms of their first jump. He loves to play defense. And we think he can play 2 or 3 different positions defensively. We just like his athleticism and his enthusiasm about playing.
All right, now, that's the 5th pick. You have another pick in the first round at number 23. All right, Jeremiah, 23rd pick, and
you got a lot of possibilities there, including a local kid here who will probably be available at that point. I don't know if that's his range. I don't know if you probably won't say anything, but C.J. Wilcox is a guy we've watched for many years. Had a great career at the University of Washington. Obviously a great three-point shooter, but you say he can do a lot more than that.
Out of Pleasant Grove High School.
We've been watching C.J. again for a few years since he was a senior. We had him in for a workout. He is a very good shooter. He struggled a little bit last year because of a foot injury, leg injury. He came back and had a really good senior year. Pretty good athlete. Again, a really good three-point shooter. Moves well without the ball, comes off screens, can catch and shoot, can spot up and shoot, and does have the ability to put the ball on the floor to get to the basket once in a while.
Is that his range, 23 to 35?
I've heard reports that he could go higher.
Okay.
But I think he is somewhere in our range.
Well, if he's the best, he's regarded as the best shooter in the draft, so that takes care of one need, right?
Yes, it does. To answer your question.
Okay, so enough said.
We'll move on to Cleanthony Early of Wichita State. He's a winner. Nice numbers in college, but a lot of people wonder, what is his position? What is he going to do in the NBA?
You know, at Wichita State, and Greg Marshall did an extremely great job with that team. He played more power forward at that level. He's only 6'8", so you know you got to look at it and see, can he convert to a 3? And that's one of the toughest spots to convert to as a 4 in college. Now you're converting to a 3 on the perimeter. The other one is trying to convert from a shooting guard to a point guard in the NBA. So that's something that teams have to figure out. Is he going to be able to be a 3? He does shoot the ball extremely well from 3. So that helps him a little bit. He is a little bit older than most of the other guys, again, because he's a senior, just like C.J. is. Whether it hurts them or not, I don't think so. But he's a guy that you would have to look at.
You know, this is an intriguing guy, another freshman out of Kentucky, guard-forward combo, James Young, 6'7". The guy's athletic. He can play above the rim. Had himself a huge Final Four. He's Kentucky's second leading scorer this past season at 14 a game. This guy, when you talk about athleticism, he's got it.
He's a very good athlete. Quick jumper. can get up and down the court, and he is really a good shooter. I mean, he can shoot it off the catch. He can shoot it off coming off down screens. He can shoot it even off the dribble. So I don't know if he's going to be there at 23. Okay. I think he could be gone before us. But he's a guy that you would have to look at again, because of his shooting ability and his athleticism if he ever comes to 23.
Okay, if he's at 23, it could be a steal.
We would hope so, if we take him.
Okay, right. Let's switch gears a little bit. I'm going to go back in time. How about that?
Uh-oh.
As we wrap up our preview of the first round of the 2014 NBA Draft, we thought it would be fun to jump inside the time machine and take a trip back through the history of the Utah Jazz in the draft.
The Utah Jazz is very proud to select Darrell Griffith,
The third pick in the draft. Choose 6'7", 210-pound junior Dominique Wilkins from the University of Georgia.
We have selected from the NCAA Championship North Carolina State team, Darrell Berry.
The Utah Jazz select John Stockton.
My dad called it. He said Utah's going to pick you, and I said, sounds good to me, and they did.
The Utah Jazz are very happy to announce that in the 13th pick of the first round of the 1985 draft, that we're going to bring a mailman.
Utah Jazz select Karl Malone of Louisiana Tech. There is Karl Malone, Louisiana Tech University. He is 6'9", 250.
All right, the 1986 first round draft, 15th pick, Utah Jazz select Del Curry of Virginia. We will draft Jose Ortiz.
Well, we said last week we brought in Lechner. We predicted that we'd pick Lechner, and we picked him.
From East Carolina, Theodore Lou Edwards.
The Utah Jazz select Eric Murdoch.
The Utah Jazz select 7'2", 270 pounds from Seton Hall, Luther Wright.
The Utah Jazz selects Greg Ostertag.
Martin Millsap, 6'9" forward from Estonia.
The Utah Jazz select Jacques Vaughn.
Quincy Lewis.
Scott Padgett from the University of Kentucky.
What? Who? Okay. You got it. We got Deshaun Stevenson.
Raul Lopez. Ryan Humphrey from Notre Dame.
You know, I'm happy to be here.
Chris Humphreys from the University of Minnesota. Kirk Snyder from the University of Nevada. The Utah Jazz select Darren Williams.
The Utah Jazz select Ronnie Brewer.
Morris Almond from Rice University. Costa Kufis. Eric Maynor.
Gordon Hayward from Butler University.
The Utah Jazz has selected Enes Kanter.
Alec Burks. Minnesota Timberwolves select Trey Burke from the University of Michigan.
They just said I got traded to Utah.
Boy, a lot of great memories, some good, some not so good from the past. You can argue that the Jazz have been even better drafting in the second round than in the first. There have been several late draft gems that have turned out to have a huge impact on the franchise over the years, starting with the fourth-round pick named Mark Eaton.
Pick the best player, but sometimes it's very, very difficult to do. People have all the ideas after the fact and tell you should have done this and should have done that, but you should sit around and try to watch it and see what it's all about.
And the Jazz found their own second-round steal in the 2006 draft, Paul Millsap.
Great rebounder. I saw him get 19 points and 18 rebounds in one game. Guy could be a steal in the second round, Tom.
Man, the fans are great. I'm excited to be in front of a lot of fans, and you know, there's just an opportunity.
Jazz spread the floor and run on an alley-oop. Oh my! Can you believe that?
There's always somebody who comes out there and plays and surprises a lot of people. And some that you expect to play sometimes don't.
Who would you say would be the top second-round pick in Jazz history?
I would say since I was here, Paul Millsap, because of what he's done with us, how he became a lot better of a player when we first drafted him. We saw him as just kind of a rebounder, and now he's become not only a rebounder, but a scorer and a defender. I would say Paul.
We'll see if that success continues on Thursday. All right, when we come back, a couple of local college players getting work out with the Jazz. All right, welcome back to our NBA Jazz Draft Special. We had a couple of local college players that worked out for the Jazz over this last month. Weber State's Davion Berry, the Big Sky Player of the Year, probably won't get drafted, but he's just trying to get a good look by somebody, including the Jazz.
Hopefully, I get an opportunity to come back for a second workout or get invited to Summer League or, you know, just some positive feedback. Anything I could get to motivate me, keep pushing me.
As Davion is going through his NBA experience, he's got a pretty good mentor to help him out. His childhood friend and former Wildcat, Damian Lillard, is on the phone constantly.
Every other day, you know, that's my boy. We grew up together. We talk, we communicate. He kind of tired of talking about basketball, you know. That's what his job is, basketball. So obviously, we just kid about other things. But, you know, he give me feedback and give me good advice. That's my big brother. So any advice I could get from him, I'll soak it up and take it in.
All right, Walt Perrin, Jazz VP of Player Personnel. You know all about Davion Berry just down the road here. What's his status for guys like him on the fringe?
Well, I think with Davion, I didn't get a chance to see him play. We have a lot of guys here in Salt Lake who had a chance to see Weber State play. What I got a chance to see him do when he came into the workout was we played him at point guard. And I think he played more shooting guard up at Weber State. So we got an opportunity to see how well he handled the ball, how well in a 3-on-3 situation he was able to organize and make passes. I think with him, depending on what route he might want to take, as he mentioned, Summer League is a route, getting on with the team for Summer League. I do not think he's going to get drafted. But the Summer League route, if he gets with the right situation, with the right team, he might be able to get back into vet camp and maybe make a team. If he can't make a team, he's got the option to be either playing in the D-League or trying to find a situation overseas that's good for him.
Walt Perrin, Jazz VP of Player Personnel, thanks for coming in. Some great insight.
Thank you.
And I guess if we don't see you before, we'll see you Thursday over at the arena for the big night.
You're right.
All right, we got some gifts for you. OGIO, golfing bag, travel bag, anything you'd like, OGIO.com. Go and check it out, Walt. You got it. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, Jeremiah, we spent the last half hour breaking down the Jazz draft with Walt Perrin, Jazz VP of Player Personnel. Now, it's just up to them. Wheeling, dealing. Are they going to trade the picks for number one? What are they going to do?
I bet there's drama on Thursday.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
NBA draft Thursday. We'll see you tonight at 10.